Talking about black and white violence. Talking about black on white violence. Anthony Joshua about to break the internet over the Jake Paul face in Netflix boxing match. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw this headline, it depressed me a little bit. It depressed me because it was like, fucking hell. It was a realization of how quickly your star can fall and how quickly people can move on. Because there was a moment in time where Anthony Joshua was regarded as, you know, a very high level talent. A person maybe possible to put his name in the history books, have some iconic fights, win some belts, and become a legend in the game. And now all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he's become an influencer boxer. And now he's facing Jake Paul in a boxing match, which I don't begrudge when it comes to money. Get your money, king. All well and good. Anthony Joshua seems like a great dude. He comes across really well online and stuff. Does a lot of stuff in charity. Every time I see clips of him online, meeting people in the street and stuff, he seems to be a super kind, super cool, down to earth, chill, humble guy. So I'm happy that he's getting, you know, he's securing a bag. But I think in terms of like sporting prowess, in terms of athletic achievement, in terms of legacy, it's just sad to see him at this age, at this stage of his career, already going down the circus route. Already going down this route, you know, it's kind of mad, but it also is a, you know, it's a reflection of how quickly things move on. If you're not, you know, if you're not on it, if you have a couple losses, if you don't perform at the highest level, your opportunity can go very, very quickly. So now it's kind of, you know, it feels like it's a sign that it's kind of over when it comes to him being a, you know, a champion all around, which I guess maybe makes sense. Let's read the article. It says, the former world heavyweight champion and YouTube turned boxer will face off in a match consisting of 8 3-minute rounds with the boxers using 10-ounce gloves. The 36-year-old hasn't fought since 2024 September when he suffered a shock loss to British compatriot Daniel Dubois in Wembley in the 5th round of the IBF. Yeah, that probably was the final blow, innit? Not that Daniel Dubois is some chump, but losing the way he did to Daniel Dubois probably really did irreparable damage to his probably, you know, notoriety, his claim, his name, blah, 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 blah. And boxing is weird too. Boxing isn't like UFC. With boxing, the more losses you tally up, the worse it is for you. With the UFC, it doesn't necessarily mean that. You could lose a few fights and you can still be in contention to win a belt, in contention to contend, in contention to still have great fights. But in boxing, the more you lose, the more your star dims. Joshua, who goes in with a record of 28 wins and 4 losses, promised the American no mercy ahead of his comeback. He said, I took some time out. I'm coming back with a mega show. It's a big opportunity for me. Whether you like it or not, I'm here to do massive numbers, have big fights, break every record whilst keeping cool, calm and collected. We want you to win belts, Anthony Joshua. We want you to be an undisputed king of all the belts, brother. We don't want this, but hey. Mark my words, you'll see a lot of fighters take these opportunities in the future. I'm about to break the internet over Jake Paul's face. Yeah, because there's money involved, isn't it? There's money involved. I get it. There's money involved. And we also have to give Jake Paul a lot of credit. We have to give Jake Paul a lot of credit for consistently keeping this thing up. This charade of this fucking game, this gimmick of like him doing boxing and people wanting to watch him fight so that he could lose and get knocked out because they hate him. But the weird thing is that he's weirdly good. He's actually kind of big. He's actually kind of strong. He's actually got quite decent punching power. So it's not likely that he's ever going to get slept, really. Especially how he picks and chooses his opponents. Maybe this Anthony Joshua thing might be the closest we might get to it. But again, Anthony Joshua isn't known as a knockout artist either. So I do think it's very smart on Jake Paul's side of things to keep this thing going up where everyone keeps watching, hoping he gets knocked out, but they're not realizing that every fight he has, he's getting better and better. You know? Every opponent he fights, every time he trains. So it's not as if he's going to get knocked out the way you think he's going to get knocked out because he's also got a decent base anyway. So it's a very, very smart move from him. He said, for Jake, this is good doing the impossible, silencing the doubters and putting himself in a position to be a conversation for a belt. And he gets it if he beats Anthony Joshua. And for Joshua, it's pretty simple. He's been out for quite a long time. He comes back, does one of the biggest events in the world. And if he knocks out Jake Paul, he'll be idolized by many within the boxing. He continued, what we've accomplished in 4 years with Jake, with no amateur background, no Olympic pedigree, makes everyone kind of take a step back and say, what's going on here? How is it possible? It angers people in boxing that he can come in and get as much attention and notoriety as we quickly have. But I think a lot of that's to do with money. A lot has to do with money. He has the money to put on these big shows. He has obviously the notoriety to kind of carry it and to obviously sell out the tickets. And a lot of it also comes, like I said before, from the hate factor. Even though I think, weirdly enough, Jake Paul's probably in his most least hate-worthy era ever. He talks very well about fighter pay. He's always advocating for that, even in boxing. He puts on a lot of great cards in general, even when he's involved in them. He's not always about him. The undercards are usually pretty good as well. So I think it's a really strange time. Like, everyone wants to watch Jake Paul get knocked out, but he actually comes across like a pretty decent dude. Ever since he's not been on social doing like YouTube content, he comes across like a pretty chill dude. I'm not gonna lie. So it is a very interesting charade they got going on there. Paul was due to face Gervonta Davis this month, but the bout was cancelled after a civil lawsuit was filed against the WABA champion. The 28-year-old has a 12-1 record, last fought in heavyweight when he beat Mike Tyson by unanimous decision in November last year in what then was 58-year-old's first fight in 19 years, before following up with a June fight with unanimous decision victory over Julio Chavez Jr. Paul labeled the fight in Miami Judgment Day. He said a professional heavyweight fight against an elite world champion in his prime. When I beat Anthony Joshua, every doubt disappears. No one can deny me the opportunity. To all my haters, this is what you wanted. To the people of the United Kingdom, I'm sorry. On Friday, December 19th, under the lights in Miami, live globally on Netflix, the torch gets passed and Britain's Goliath gets put to sleep. Fair play, man. Fair play. Fair fucking play. Everyone's going to be watching it, hoping he loses. He won't obviously lose. He'll probably go to decision. I don't think he's going to get slept either. I think it'll be a tighter fight than probably people think it would be. It's just sad knowing, thinking Anthony Joshua is going to be this big champion. It's just kind of sad to see where things have kind of panned out. But I guess that's the nature of the beast. I guess that's the nature of the beast.